Hi everyone, Happy New Year, Pyramid Intel. What I want for this year, for myself and for everyone around me, is peace. And you are never going to have peace until we totally love and accept ourselves, because that's where the problem starts. If you don't love every bit of yourself and accept every bit of yourself, you're never going to be able to love and accept other people. And then you're going to be afraid of them, or you're going to have resentments toward them, and then there's never any peace. This is in the most personal level, personal relationships, marriages, friendships, family relationships, all the way up to globally. And so this is what we need to work on. And as they always say, the answers are within, not without. Because if you can't find and feel and experience that love, that peaceful love of yourself within, when you're sitting all by yourself, then there's nowhere to go with it. So we seem to have a really big problem with people that are different from us. You know, it's like you have a best friend or a marriage or someone that you really love, and then before you know it, you end up hating them because they have different views from you, they have different habits and things like that. Starts at a really age, and I don't know how much of it is a program and how much of it is innate. I realize that a lot of it has to do with just survival mechanism, you know, being able to judge people around you so that they don't hurt you or kill you, infiltrate your family, things like that. But if you watch children on the program that have not accepted programs so much, they seem to be much more accepting of differences and actually kind of fascinated and intrigued by it. And they'll go up and interact with each other and ask questions and everything, and they can form deep bonds if they don't have programs of negativity toward people that are different. For example, there's music. If I hear music that moves me, I will listen to it 1,000 times on repeat. Now, the normal human, this is considered abnormal human behavior. And they want to put a label on me. They want to put a stamp on that kind of behavior, someone that can sit and listen to one song 1,000 times in a row. But the reason I'm listening to it is not because of the song, it's because of the frequency. There is something about that music that's causing an emotional vortex, an energetic vortex from the sound that feels so comforting to me that that's why I will do it. Some people may watch the same movie over and over and over, or play the same game or whatever, but they're doing it because there's an energetic vortex that feels comforting to them. Now, this is not like a really horrifying habit. This is just one of many things that I have, but it can cause and has caused throughout my life people to turn away from me, to make fun of me, to slap labels on me, all kinds of things. My own relationships, my own family, even when I was a child. If we cannot accept these things within our personal circles, how are we ever going to have them globally? People that live on the other side of the world and have different cultures, how are we ever going to be able to accept that? And why is it so threatening to have somebody who has different habits? If they're not harming anybody else, what's the problem? It's amazing, just like I find it amazing that you can buy any item of clothing off the rack and put it on your body with all the differences that we have in our body shapes and have it even fit slightly and be slightly acceptable. How can we expect our brainwave functions to be the same when you throw in all the variables? So that's what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to put a link below this video because it happens to be an Israeli group that came together to sing a song about bringing home the hostages. And it's so heartfelt and so beautiful, and it just creates such great feelings in me. And people are like, why do you keep listening to it over and over and over? Because they perceive it, when they look logically at all the information, as something negative and something horrible and something that's going to make you cry, make you sad, and there's nothing you can do about it anyway. And they're missing the whole point of why I do it, what I get from it. That may be their perception of the entire situation, and listening to the song, that's where they go. But for me, I see and I feel and I get transformed by the energy of all these souls coming together and combining their energy collectively, and the heartfelt emotion that's poured into it. It makes me cry too, but tears of joy. And I wish that that somebody over on the other side who's angry about the Israelis will hear this heartfelt, energetic, and it can transform them and bring them to a higher place and help release any negativity that they have. I also wish that someone could do that for the people in Palestine that are suffering. Not the terrorists necessarily, though they are in that state also because of pain. And when you have something like that, when you have such a strong, loving, heartfelt, energetic, it gets through the mind of anger and this happened and that happened and I should feel this way. And miracles happen because it's not the words, it's the frequency that the heart picks up. The heart understands that. And this has been proven to happen in the darkest of places. You know, you have music, a song, you have that frequency band. That's why music passes any language barriers, because it's everything that I just said. And that could shift one person and drop away all their sadness and their fear and their anger and transform them into, you know, what we like to call in the West, Christ consciousness. We call it whatever you want. It's that highest frequency band of love, and it just melts everything away, and it can change you. And Christians also call that being filled with the Holy Spirit and everything. And call the frequency band whatever you want, but that's what it is. Now, the people, I believe, I'm crossing into like some sketchy territory right now where people will turn me off. That's fine. I'll try to say it as truthfully and delicately as I can. When you see college students supporting the terrorist group that starts with an H, I think what they're really saying in a really horrifying way is that there's a flip side to it, and that people are suffering, you know, the other people are suffering as well. And that's what brought that one terrorist group to that point, perhaps, or people wanting to participate in that group of hatred because of the pain that they experienced. That can happen. And if there were something that could be made, a musical piece, a group of people coming together in the most beautiful way to create a harmonic vortex, expressing the way the Jews and Israelis do regarding bringing their people home. If someone could produce something like that for the Palestinians, that's something people could feel and see and understand in a way that perhaps many people are not able to at the moment. It brings everyone back to the humanity of the heart, of love and pain and suffering, in a way that they can hear without all the outside noise of he said, she said, I see this, I see that, I see terrorism, I see, you know, things blowing up. And we got to get past all that. It comes back to solving the world's problems from a different frequency. You have to pull out everything that you know, everything that you think, and everything that you see, and you have to feel it. Oh, you already talked about tuning your frequency band and going into a different place. I realize now that just because of the way my frequency is tuned, the way my central nervous system is tuned, that it's quite different from everyone else's. I always knew that it was. I just didn't have an explanation for it until I'm much older. But now I do. And that's why I'm on here talking, because I understand where we are and where we're going. You know, the baseline frequency of the planet is different. It's changing. That's what the Schumann resonance is all about. It's changing whether you like it or not. And you're going to be seeing and feeling and hearing things differently whether you like it or not. Some people will choose to tune it out. It's like your perception in a higher frequency band. It changes your brain, it activates light codes, DNA, blah, blah, blah. And it depends how deeply you want to get into the description of it. I try to keep it really simple. There are people that go a lot deeper into details than I do, and they're much better at it. Try to keep it really broad and simple so that everyone can listen. So I describe it like this. You know, you're used to tuning into 98.1 radio frequency, and that's what you can hear really well. But then all of a sudden, you haven't moved. You're still standing exactly where you've always stood, listening to 98.5, but Suddenly you're getting a bleed through from 101, and it's coming in stronger and stronger and stronger. And now you can hear 101, and you can hear the 98.5. Maybe eventually you won't even hear 98.5. You're going to hear 101.1. You didn't ask to hear it, but you are hearing it. Why? Because the shape of your antenna, which is your central nervous system, and your ability, your brain function to perceive certain things or not perceive other things, your ability to see within the light spectrum is changing. The shape of your antenna is changing, whether you like it or not. So if you have rabbit ears, you're only going to get 98.5, but if suddenly your antenna starts growing and stretching out and going up higher and higher, or you're going to get more stations, right? That's what's happening. So those who try to dig in and fight it, who try to take their antenna and pull it right back down and just want to work with their rabbit ears and stay tuned into one station, you're fighting against a huge energetic force, and you're going to get blown out. It's going to rage and tear on you and be really painful, and unfortunate things could happen to your physical vessel. So to the best of your ability, go with it. To the best of your ability, just if you can look at it that way and understand what's happening, that would be helpful. You know, understanding is key. The fact that no one in mainstream is explaining any of these facts to you, it makes it kind of hard to believe, and also it's not helping anyone adjust to the changes. And there's probably a reason for that. Most people realize just from watching mainstream media that peace is not the desired outcome from people in charge. They don't want you to have peace. It's not helpful. So you must maintain your peace, whatever it is that makes you feel good, that makes you feel calm, that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel joy. That's where you need to go. And that is the easiest thing in the world. Okay, you may have to reprogram yourself to do it, because remember, you're not programmed for peace, you're not programmed for joy. They have you programmed for other things entirely that don't feel good. So for the new year, I would like everyone to please run it through your filter, run it through your gut. What does it feel like? If you have angst, please change it. I don't care if it's the color of your living room or your job or your friendships or your family. You need to really look at it. If there is a pattern of constant angst, it's not okay. It's hurting you, and it's going to hold you back, and it's going to make the next year that much more painful than it needs to be for everyone involved. So I love you very much. I'm going to put a link below this video in case you want to check out the gathering of heartfelt musicians to make this video. And I don't care where you stand on the issue, you cannot deny the emotion that comes from this music. And that's what I'm talking about. And whether you gather together a bunch of people to make music or meditate, whenever you come together to speak as one voice, you form your own collective consciousness, and you have so much emotion behind it. That's manifestation in action. That is the best of what humans can produce. And they can get together and produce negativity with that energy, or they can get together and produce something like this. And I hope that it makes a difference. I hope that you actually take the time to listen to it, because I know that on some level, everyone's going to get it, and it's going to help you in some way through the next year, okay? So Happy New Year. I love you very much. Talk to you later. Bye.